Welcome to the Fireside Chat with Dr. Santha Kumar. In this episode, we will discuss artificial intelligence and some specific tools that will help internet-based research better. I am Gayatri Kumar, and I have been an international educator for the past 25 years, teaching middle school, high school math in 8 different countries. Dr. Santha Kumar is an international education leader and consultant and has worked in various capacities as an educator, administrator, and leader for the past 25 years in international education. First question to you is, what is AI technology?
AI is a set of algorithms that perform some of the functions that a human does. Algorithms means a set of instructions that you give it to a computer. I've heard about generative AI. Generative means creating some new content, which could be a text or video or image or a code. So a generative AI is all about creating new content using a set of algorithms.
Is this technology completely new?
Not at all. You would have come across Google Translate. Siri in iPhone, or sometimes when you are typing your Gmail, then it automatically predicts the sentences that would follow, right? Same thing happens with Google search as well. So these are all called simple generative AI. ChatGPT is a complex generative AI. Why am I saying that? Suppose if I'm writing an essay on the uses of biotech, and I want 3 arguments for and against. You and me may not be able to immediately give 3 arguments for and against, whereas a ChatGPT could. Suppose if you want to develop a hospital patient's admissions form with certain information, and you want to write a code for it, ChatGPT could. Or you are developing your own personal website, and you want to write an About Me page, and if you provide certain information about yourself, ChatGPT could provide a About Me page for you.
This became so popular very quickly, right?
Yes, it is, because ChatGPT took only 2 months to reach 100 million users, while Google Translate took 78 months.
I heard that AI uses something called language modeling. What is that?
Language modeling is like, suppose you're giving a sequence of words to the model that provides a context to the model. Then the model could predict what comes next, like what you saw in Google search and Gmail as like a simple generative AI, right? That could be enhanced further. So what you need to do is basically when you train with large amounts of data, then the prediction really improves. And then you should be able to do much more than simple predictions like what you saw in Google search, right? This model is what we call as a large language model. What happens is basically we need large amount of data like Wikipedia or Quora, Reddit. And this large amount of data is fed into the model. But when you're feeding into the model, you need to truncate some parts of the sentences. Let's say I'm truncating the last part of the sentence and providing the first part of the sentence to the model. And I calculate the probabilities of the missing words and ask the model to predict it and then calculate the probabilities of missing words. And then I adjust that and provide feedback to the model so that it matches the right words because you know the right words there, right? So then when you start providing right kind of feedback to the model, then it'll arrive at the right words. And you have to repeat this over a large volume of data, then the accuracy really improves.
I'm hearing about a term, neural network. What is it?
See, neural networks normally you have in your brain, right? So similarly, the scientists are trying to replicate that idea. Replicate those types of neural networks physically in artificial intelligence. A simple neural network has an input layer and an output layer and a collection of some hidden layers. In the input layer, you provide data. And when you provide the data, the abstraction of that input is seen on the hidden layers. So there are multiple abstractions. And then what happens is the model sees the patterns, it tries to generalize and then predict that in the form of output. This is what we call as a neural network. It's a input and then the abstraction of input in the hidden layers. And then the model sees the patterns, generalizes it, and then predicts it.
Explain about ChatGPT.
Okay, so as I said, because there are a number of neural networks that are used in large language models, right? A collection of neural networks is what we call as a transformer. And ChatGPT is a collection of transformers. And GPT means generative pre-trained transformers, because we are using these transformers and we are training them, we are pre-training them using large amount of data. So that's why they are called pre-trained transformers, since they produce generative output like an image, text, video, or a code. So they are called generative pre-trained transformers. So you're chatting with this GPT, that's why it's called ChatGPT. And ChatGPT uses the entire internet, whether it's a 3.5 or 4, they use the entire internet until 2021. So because of this large volume of data, the prediction has really improved. Now that the generative model is available for others to use.
Does ChatGPT always give an accurate prediction?
Not really. What happens is, because now that the generative model is available and it's available for the whole internet community, so when they try to do things and then if the model makes mistakes, they provide feedback as a user, right? So this constant feedback that is given to the model really improves that model. That is one aspect to it. The second aspect is, you also need to keep in mind that it uses the entire internet until 2021. So any data after 2021 may not be correct. So for example, if you're asking a question to ChatGPT, who is Rishi Sunak? We all know that Rishi Sunak is the British Prime Minister. But Rishi Sunak took over as the Prime Minister after 2021. So ChatGPT doesn't know about it. So what it would give you is basically Rishi Sunak is a British politician. He was the Chancellor of the Exchequer, those type of information that it would give you. So that you need to keep in mind as well. And also, the people are taking this generative model, providing feedback and improving it. That is happening on one end. The other end, people are also doing some fine-tuning there. Fine-tuning in the sense that they are customizing this generative model to specific fields like medicine and education.
How does AI or the large language model help us?
With rapid growth of information, we humans were overwhelmed with that amount of information. We were not able to manage that well. Right? Some of the biggest challenges we faced were we didn't know which one is the right source of information. And say, for example, suppose I am trying to do a Google search on a particular topic. When I'm doing that, the Google would generate hundreds of pages for me. And as a human, I won't be able to see all the 100 pages. At the maximum, I may be able to see 5 or 10 web pages maximum, not beyond that. So I don't know whether which web page has got the right kind of information, even though Google has got its own algorithm to improve the search. There is also an element of marketing involved in there. That's what they call as SEOs, the optimization of the search engine, right? Search engine optimization. So those are the things that are there. And second thing is, suppose if I find or if I have that very important key data or idea in the 40th website, I won't be able to really access that information, right? But ChatGPT, what it does is it identifies the right source of information for you because it does a deep search. Second thing, it synthesizes all the data and ideas from multiple sources. So because of which your search becomes really fruitful. So in short, AI provides us with deep search capability and synthesis of data and ideas from multiple sources.
Wow, I'm learning quite a bit about AI and what AI technology is all about. If I ask students to do a research paper on particular topic, Dr. Kumar, it is possible for my students to use ChatGPT to just, generate a paper, right? So how does this help students with learning to do research?
That's a good question, because normally when you do a research paper, there are two components.
Mhm.
One component is finding the right information, that is the searching part, right?
Mhm.
The second one is analyzing that information and producing a synthesis. But the advantage of ChatGPT is it identifies the right kind of information, it synthesizes all the data and ideas, whatever that you need from multiple sources, and it provides you.
Mhm.
So that part, the search part, is taken off from you.
Mm.
And only thing is the analysis part. So you can focus more on the analysis rather than doing the physical search,
Mm.
right? Or the internet search, whatever it does,
Mhm.
right? So that's the advantage I'm seeing it there.
So then in a classroom, how should teachers approach writing assessments in a class in the era of ChatGPT?
Yeah, that's a good question. How teachers approach writing assessment in class in the era of ChatGPT. What I would say is basically students need to generate their first draft of the writing assignment
Mhm.
through ChatGPT.
Mhm.
Then analyze the AI's writing, focusing on accuracy, bias, or the characteristics that are pertinent to that particular course, that are important to that course.
Mhm.
And then you may ask your students to write a draft,
Mhm.
a second draft, which is the human draft,
Mhm.
which the students themselves do. That way, they utilize the information of the AI. At the same time, they think about it and they write in their own words.
Now, let us look at some cool research tools. Dr. Kumar, what tools are you going to show us?
I'm going to show 4 tools altogether. These tools can serve you as your personal research assistant.
Wow, I'm excited to learn about them.
Yeah, the first one is called Chat PDF. See, when you type in chatpdf.com, you arrive at this page. And then Chat PDF is a tool where you can drop a PDF of a research article, and then you can ask questions and analyze that particular research article, right? So I have taken a research article already, so which I'm going to show you in a minute. You can pull this research article normally by browsing the computer and dropping it.
Can we also pull up the paper by just browsing the web?
Yeah, it's possible too. You can, if you click on this from your URL, then you can paste your URL there, and then you can pull it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I'm going to show you this. Already I have imported them. So this is an article called A Differentiated Discussion about AI Education K-12. It has got about 26 pages. You can see that here. That is a simple, a brief introduction about the paper. And then it automatically generates 4 questions about the paper. So if you want to know about that, probably what you need to do is basically just click on one of those questions. Then it generates an answer for that particular question. So for the first question, what are the key dimensions of AI education discussed in this paper? So it gives me this answer, right?
What are those numbers next to those bullet points?
Yeah, that's a good question. These are the page numbers. Suppose if you want to really go and read what it is, just if you click on that, it will take you to the page.
I see.
Yeah. So that's what it does.
Can we ask our own questions?
Yes, absolutely. Here in this bar, it says ask any questions, where you can type, basically, we can say, what are the conclusions of the paper? And then it gives you the conclusions here.
I see.
Yeah.
How do you use this tool in a K-12 classroom?
Okay, you can use it in 2 ways. Either you provide a topic to your students for them to do a lateral research. So for that particular topic, they can look at multiple research papers and then arrive at, a synopsis of all of those things, what they found out for that particular research question. Second thing is, suppose if you are teaching them how to do research, or if you're teaching them how to write a research paper, probably you can pull up various components of a research here, like methodology, those types of things you can ask. And then based on that, they can understand the different components of a research paper.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Another thing, what I did was, you normally get some presentation copies from a conference, right? So if you want to understand, if you have a PDF of that, so you can also use that PDF and then ask questions about the presentation. That's all. That's what I did here. If you look at this one, this is basically a conference presentation. See, when I scroll down, you can see that these are copies of a PowerPoint presentation, right?
I see.
So what I have done in this is basically I have asked questions about it. What is the methodology used in this paper? So it gives me the methodology here. Similarly, I asked about the key ideas of the paper. Then it gives the key ideas here.
So when you pull in a presentation into chat PDF, does it not automatically generate questions?
Sometimes, but sometimes not, because I'm not sure about it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. What tool are we going to see next, Dr. Kumar?
The next tool is a little bit advanced tool compared to chat PDF. It is called Elicit. And if you go to elicit.com, then you will arrive at this page. So when you look at this, you can see it says explore the scientific literature. You can find papers by asking a research question. You can extract data from PDF, like what we did in chat PDF. And also you can list some concepts and then find some scientific fact-checking data sets from there. So these are the three ways in which we can do that. That's how this tool is better. Okay. So what I'm going to do, because already we saw that extracting data in the previous one, so I'm not going to do that here. I'm going to ask a research question. All right. So let me use this question here. That is, wearing an activity tracker improve health outcomes.
Okay.
So the moment I chose that question, it searched about 125 million academic papers and has given me the top 4 abstracts here.
Wow.
Yeah. So there is a summary about the question, and it has used 4 papers, the top 4 papers here. But if you want to have more, then probably you have to pay for it. You have to upgrade to Plus. Then it can give you up to 8 papers. Okay, so here, if you look at that, this is a summary which says that research consistently shows that wearing an activity tracker can lead to improved health outcomes. That's the answer for that question, right? So, and it has cited some articles here. Suppose if you click on one of those citations, it will take you to the article. And then you can look at the article, you can look at who the authors are and which research publication and which year and how many citations and those aspects. And that is an abstract summary. And then you can also go to the main paper to look at. All right. So, and apart from that, another interesting part is here. See, these are the 4 papers it is used here, right? For each of those papers, it is giving an abstract summary, right? And apart from that, you can also ask them, I want to know about the main findings. So if you click on that, it will create a column for main findings. Similarly, you can look at intervention, you can look at outcome measured, limitations, and so on and so forth. And if you click on show more, there are a number of other categories as well, right? And then in this, you can also sort them from most relevant to least relevant, and it also by alphabetical order, and different ways you can sort them. And also you can do some filters here. And in this filters, you can restrict them by publication year, because that is something important. We always look at, okay, I want to know only the last 10 years, not beyond that. Then in that case, you can choose the publication year from when to when, then it will give you. And also it shows according to the study type. So you can decide to see, okay, whether it's a review or a meta-analysis or an RCT, randomized control trial, all of those things you can do. So there's various ways you can look at a paper, which is It's much more, I mean, which is more advanced compared to Chat PDF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a versatile tool.
Yeah, it is.
So by the way, I forgot, did you say that this tool is free?
This tool gives some initial points, and based on the number of research questions or the PDFs that you're using, this tool reduces those points. And beyond which, then you can buy some points for that. That's how this one operates. If you go to Elicit Plus, then they get you some 10,000 points or 20,000 points. Let me check that. Let's say upgrade to Plus. So it says that upgrade and get 12,000 credits per month, right? So if you're really using more, if you're doing your PhD or if you're a researcher, you need more credits for that. So that's how you need to do that. All right.
I guess it is time to now look at the next exciting tool, Dr.
Yes.
Kumar.
Yes, this is much more advanced compared to the other two tools, both Chat PDF as well as Elicit.
Wow.
This is called Consensus. This tool is basically, if you look at, you can do it in three ways. You can ask about a relationship between concepts. You can ask a simple yes/no question, or you can ask about the effects of a concept, right? So I'm going to choose this yes/no question, right? So I'm going to ask this question, does morning sunlight improve mood? Okay. When I ask this question, you look at this, it has generated a summary here. It has analyzed 10 papers. And using Copilot generates basically an introduction about the key insights from those research papers and a conclusion, the synopsis of multiple papers that it has looked into. And then you can see all of those papers here. And each of those papers, it gives you like, okay, this is highly cited, right? And then it also gives us what type of study is that? It's a randomized controlled trial, right? And then which journal this particular paper has been published, and then who the authors are, and how many citations, which year. So all of those things it gives you. So probably if you're teaching students about research, and if you're talking about highly cited papers, the importance of high number of citations for a paper, then in that case, they can look at that and say how many citations have been given and choose a paper which has got more citations. And then they can look at the paper and then do a synopsis of those things, right? So those are the things they can do.
Okay. And this one, as you can, if you can scroll down a little bit, Dr. Kumar.
Yeah.
And those numbers that I see there, right next to, a little bit above, a little bit further up, if you can scroll up. Those numbers are also like what you.
Yeah, the page numbers,
mentioned.
like what we saw in Chat PDF.
So if you click on those numbers, it will take us to the page.
It will take you to that page.
Okay.
That's what it does.
I see.
And then the other interesting thing is, because it's an yes or no question, so it gives you here, because this paper says yes for that question. And if there is a no, then it will say no, right? And another interesting part of this tool is, there is a consensus meter here. In the consensus meter, it says that there are 11 papers analyzed, out of which 91% says yes, and 9% says no.
Okay.
Right? So it gives you that consensus meter. So any type of yes or no question, then it gives you a clear answer. And also it is supported by hard evidence by the research papers here. That's the advantage of this tool. And it has got much more different features as well in this. And then probably one has to explore more to look at that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Finally, what's the last tool we are going to look at, Dr. Kumar?
This tool is called Zotero. Zotero is a reference collector. Normally, we ask students to cite all the papers that they have used, right? Sometimes students also do like find some article somewhere, and then they forget to copy the link or cite them properly. And then they'll be looking for those articles after finishing the paper, right? So to avoid all of those things, Zotero is a reference collector. You can do it in three different ways. You can collect those references. One, manually, you can type in and put those references there, which is a little bit labor intensive. And the second way is just you can, if you have a PDF or if you have a copy of that research paper, you can directly link to that file. And the third way is if you found that online, directly you can go and connect the link to the Zotero connector. Here it says that Zotero 6 for Mac and Zotero connector. Both you have to install. Zotero 6 is basically software installs. The software has to be installed on your machine. And then Zotero connector is a Chrome extension that you add to your Chrome or any other browser for that matter, right? So what happens is the advantage of the Chrome connector is whenever you're seeing a paper, you can directly add it.
Okay.
That is the advantage there.
Okay.
And then both of them are synced because there is a process by which you have to do that. So once you install this, and then it automatically, it'll ask you whether you have installed the connector. So then you install the connector, and then it'll ask you to sync it with the connector. Then you put your username and password. You have to create an account. And you put a username and password, then it starts syncing, right? That's what I'm going to show you. This is my Zotero account. I have already logged in. You can see I got 3 articles already listed here and sent to the folder called My Library. And under the My Library, you got a number of other folders here. If you want to create your own folder, you have to click on this and then create a folder. It says New Collection, and then you can name it. I have named it as Collection 1 here. And then all items generally, when you add, it comes to My Library. From there, just you can move those items to your own collections. And then the second one is if you have your own publications, you can put those things under this folder. Duplicate items is if you have included the same research article 2 times or more, then this will show the duplicate items. Then you can merge them. And unfilled items is basically for any of those research articles which you haven't put it under a specific collection. The other one is the trash. Suppose if I click on an article, on the right, you can see it says what type of article is that. So it's a journal article here. Then it gives you the title, author, and then an abstract. Similarly, it can give you like publication, volume, and various aspects of an article here. You can add articles to Zotero in 3 different ways. One way is a manual one. Just if you click on this and then click, if you want to add a book, click on this. Then in that case, you need to type the title. You need to type the author. You need to type what are the things that you know about the book into it. That is a little bit laborious process. The other way to do it is, suppose if you have this article as a PDF or any other document, then you can directly link to the file. When you click on the link to the file, it opens up a browser, then you can go and add that article directly. So I'm going to add this article here. And it is added here. All right. And the third way is if you're browsing an article on the web, then you can directly link that one to your Zotero connector, which is an extension on your Chrome or any other browser. That way, what happens, then the connector and your account are synchronized. Because for that, what you need to do is basically initially, you see that you have to install the browser connector. Then what you need to do is you have to add because you have to create an account. You need to add your username and password, and then you have to sync it. You can look at here, it says sync with Zotero.org. That you can do it as well. So once this is done, automatically it gets synced. Okay. So these are the 3 ways in which you can add your references to this reference collector. And then I want to show you some of the other additional features here. See, when you're adding an article, it automatically collects this, who the author is, And if there is an abstract, we'll give an abstract and various other information related to that article. You can also tag that article. You click on the tags, and if you can add a tag. The tag could be, suppose if I'm doing a particular research paper, so on, let's say, educational research. At the same time, I'm also doing something on artificial intelligence. So I can organize this accordingly. Okay, this is an educational research one. So I will say educational research. That's a tag. This is very important to tag these articles so that you can search them by tags. If you click on this educational research at the tags at the bottom, you see that? Then it will bring up that article. So that's important. All right. Next, what we are going to look at is the connector. I'm going to my browser now. Here there is an article on artificial intelligence. So I want to add this article to my Zotero account. So this, I have to do it through Zotero Connect. I have already installed the Zotero connector as a Chrome extension. So I'm clicking on the Chrome extension here and click on Zotero Connect. When I do that, it saves to my library. Okay, once this is done, let's go to our Zotero account. See, this article has been added. That's how it works. There are three ways in which you can do it. You can manually add, or you can link to a file and add. And the third way is through the Zotero connector directly from the web. These three ways you can collect. In your Google document, when you open a Google document, you can see on the top that is Zotero.
Yeah.
When you install the Zotero connector, and automatically it gets into your Google Doc as well for the same account, right? So now, so I need to choose which type of citation style I want to use, for which I go into my Zotero account. I go to Edit, under Edit, Preferences. Under Preferences, you have a list of those citation styles, so the style managers. I click on APA, 7th edition. When I click on this one and they say Add Edit Citation.
Okay.
So wherever I want to add this in-text citation, I had to place my cursor there. And when I click on the in-text citation, it takes me to this Zotero window. In the Zotero window, you can either type directly the author name or the article name, or the easiest way is there is a drop down next to it. I'll click on this drop down and choose a classic view. So when I choose the classic view, it opens up my Zotero account here. So I can now choose this particular paper, which I want to cite there, and click OK. And see, you got the in-text citation there.
Oh, yeah. That's so cool.
That's so cool, yeah. And similarly, if you are doing your references, so I'm going to say these are my references. And then here, just I go there to Zotero and then add edit bibliography.
Oh, that was my next question. I was going to ask,
So
how do you add?
Then whatever you have cited automatically comes in there.
Okay.
So when you add another in-text citation, then this will add to it.
So you don't have to even put a request for it? It will automatically do it?
It will automatically do it.
Oh, this time you just wrote references.
Yeah, because this is a separate layer.
Yeah.
So bibliography, I'm creating the bibliography.
Okay.
Or once you have written the entire paper with all the in-text citations, and finally, that's when you create your bibliography, right? Finally, you type references and press, go to Zotero and press this add bibliography. It will bring everything together.
Wow, that's so powerful.
That's so powerful.
It's time-saving tool actually for the students, for anybody that is doing.
And especially those who are doing research, this is a boom.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you so much, Dr. Kumar.
Thank you. Thank you.